So we just finished watching The Accidental Detective in Action, Part 2. If you guys haven't seen, there's Part 1, and we just finished Part 2 with Kwang Soo in it.
Yeah.
So
having Kwang Soo in it definitely does add an extra dimension to the cast.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see what he puts in there.
Yeah. So there's Kang Tang-man. He works in a comic book store in part 1, and he's like in love with these like detective stuff, and he really wants to be a detective, but he's not like qualified for it. And so his wife says that he's not good enough for it. So in part 1 he gets involved with it, and then he actually solves a case with one of the detectives, and so part 2 continues off of it. Those two decide to, give up their jobs and become working in creating a detective agency to help the neighborhood. But what? Didn't work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how did they get involved with the case?
You talking part 1 or part 2?
Part
2. This woman who is the fiance of a man who supposedly died by a train hitting him, and so she wanted the police officers to look into it, in which they did, and they said that it's nothing. It was a suicide, and so she doesn't believe in it. So they take the case from the cops, and they go and look into it and find out what really happened, if it was really a suicide or a murder. And it turns out that the fiance, not the wife, but the husband, never died. He got kidnapped, and they faked the death of using somebody else. So the two detectives, the two guys, they worked their way through the clues that the police officers had already found, and they came up with some of their own clues through interrogation, and they found out that the man behind all of it was the director of the orphanage place, and they found out that the orphanage was a way for rich people to attain organs from orphans. So orphans would be placed in there, and that orphanage raised up, look like it's a great place, raised up, get employed, and then when they find a match and they're healthy enough, like the orphanage is healthy and a rich person is a match to these orphans, right?
Then what this director does is he lays them off of their job, and then he creates the accident, which makes it look like they died, and he ID them, saying that this is them because they have no family members. I'm their resident. I take care of them. I'm like a father to them, so I ID them as they're dead. Then when he does that, then he takes their organs and he gives it to rich people. He also owns like a hospital too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, the director, he has two people working for him, which is one of them is her actress name is Song Dan-bi.
Yeah, Song Dan-bi.
And she's the orphan daughter, and then he has an orphan son that takes care of all the claims.
Calls him like Director Kim or something.
Yeah,
he works at the factory candy.
Right, so he's the one that employs all the orphans once they get old enough. And then he also lays them off, and he takes care of all the finances behind all that. So he has Song Dan-bi probably is the one that does the killing.
Yeah.
If not, then she does a transport.
She drugs them. She drugs them, and so the guy. So Song Dan-bi drugs them, and to make it look like it's a suicide. Then the director Kim comes and say that, they were suiciding, and I know them. We keep in contact, and I came in time to save them. But by the time they reach the doctors, the hospital emergency, they're already dead.
Yeah.
So it was concluded as a suicide.
Yeah. So it's like it's a triangle of to get organs from orphans and they transplant it to rich people. So that's how they're connected, and that's how they continue to make money. The two main characters, along with Kwang Soo being the supporting lead, they find that out and they go to the hospital to stop the organ transplant from happening. That is dealing with the fiance couple, and they stop that. And so once they stop that, at the end of the movie, they do get a new case, which is already kind of shown throughout the whole movie about this missing cat named Bebe. And they were like, no, we're not going to do it. Missing cats and stuff are under us. We're not going to do it. Well, they find out at the end of the movie that case is worth $100,000. So now it's kind of this whole thing of, oh my God, like,
are they coming back with part 3?
Yeah, are they coming back with part 3, or is it just kind of like a little fun thing to put that yes, cats are valued by people, but that much as well. So,
well, yeah, we got to see some comedy, and we both agreed that Kwang Soo did a good job.
Oh, he always does a great job. He always does a great job. Kwang Soo is an extraordinary actor. He knows how to play his roles real well. Yeah. So I enjoyed the movie.
I did too. It was better than part 1. He didn't see part 1.
I've never seen part 1.
He didn't see part 1. He only saw it where those two main characters came into Running Man. And then when we found out that Kwang Soo was casted for part 2, and we were excited for it, and it came out, and we watched it, and honestly, we were looking forward to Kwang Soo.
Yeah, well, that's why we watched it.
Kwang Soo never fails. So, Kwang Soo fan.
Not just that. I mean, this movie was recorded last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was recorded last year.
Kwang Soo had long hair.
And someone put it in like a ponytail.
Yeah. He had long hair. Now is if anybody who keeps track of Kwang Soo, you guys know he doesn't have long hair anymore. But he had long hair back then when he was filming it. Man, he had long hair.
Yeah, so he kept his long hair for a reason, for this drama and for this movie, and he did a very good job. He was like a tech guy, hacker type of person.
Yeah. His code name was like Hopper.
Grasshopper.
Yeah, so I think it was just kind of a little fun thing that Kwang Soo probably used to poke fun at Jae-suk. Yeah, so it was a good movie. Overall, for me, if I was in Korea, I definitely would have paid to go watch it in theaters. Yeah.
Okay. What would you rate this movie?
I give it a 4. I think there's some parts in there that was a little pointless. Like the part where he kind of his wife
kept reflecting to their wife.
Yeah, or like him having to go to the comic book store to kind of fake that he didn't sell the comic book yet to Kwang Yu. That part was a little pointless, but I did kind of wish that they did a little more explanation into some of these characters and what her role was. She kind of was just there and doing stuff behind the scenes, and then just popped up. So I do kind of wish they kind of put a little bit more time saying, "Hey, this is her role in the whole scheme that they had." And
she didn't really see her. She popped up in the beginning where she brought drinks to the detectives.
Yeah.
And then she kind of didn't see her, and then you see her again at the hospitals, and you see her again at the factory, and that was it. And then you see her and then towards the end, that's when she really comes into play.
Yeah.
So yeah, her character was I think it would have made it more interesting if she kept showing up a lot, and you keep seeing her around.
Mm-hmm.
She kept it's like it makes it go. It's a coincidence why she keeps appearing.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Because she showed up really early where they met the director, And then it was like for another good like 20-25 minutes before you got to see her at the
hospital.
At the funeral.
Oh yeah, the funeral.
So it was like it was like a big gap in between. So it almost kind of made you go and say, well, you know, what's her role? I mean, she's not just any actress, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, that is it. Any of you guys have not seen it, go ahead and check it out. And if to make it a little bit more make sense, do watch part 1. Ahjuxue didn't get it, so I had to like explain a little bit of part 1 for him before we watch part 2. So if you guys have not seen part 1, watch part 1. It is not as exciting as part 2, but it will give you background information of what the 2 main characters, what they do, and then it will make you a little bit more understanding in part 2. Alright? And that is it for today's movie review, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace. Hello everybody. This is Ahjuxue
Agashe,
and welcome to our channel, in which we review dramas, variety shows, movies, and other goodies that we watch.
We also review products that we use and showcasing our crafts and arts.
Yeah, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys can, hit a like down below, and please subscribe to our channel. And we also would love it if you guys
connect with us
through our Instagram and Tapastic. And along with that, we do have a Patreon, which the link's down below if you guys want to support us and join us in our journey. We will be doing a lot more videos in the future, and we hope to inspire many of you guys to also do videos as well. Alright guys,
see you next time.
See you next time.